Hello and welcome to Michelle Hotchkiss Art. Today I'm going to show you how to make a gold painted feather with some glitter on it and then how to make it into a shaker card. So I hope you enjoy this video. As you can see, I've made several of these gold tipped feathers, and I like to call them God feathers. And what I've done with a few of them is I have just painted the tips gold, but then I've also made a couple of them into little planner charms that I have attached to my handmade and hand-painted leather traveler's notebook. And I used my fuse tool and an eyelet, and I was just able to attach it to my notebook. Then I did the same thing with a little very small feather and attached it to my very tiny micro traveler's notebook that I made into a necklace. So supplies that you will need are feathers, and the stiff feathers work better than the fluffy downy feathers. I don't suggest to use those, but you can find feathers in your yard like I have. These are mallard duck feathers, or you can buy feathers in your local craft store. And so now I'm just taking some gold metallic paint and I'm painting a thick layer on the front of the feather, just on the tip of it. Put the paint on in the direction that the feathers go. If you paint in the wrong direction, you can actually split the feather apart, and that doesn't look quite as nice. So once you get a nice thick layer on the front, just turn the feather over and start painting the back. Now sometimes it's hard to get a nice even layer the first time around, so just go back in, let the first layer get a little bit tacky, and then just go back in with a second layer and get that paint nice and even and thick on there. So now I'm just taking a little vial of very fine gold glitter. This is called micro glitter, I think. Anyway, just go ahead and sprinkle some of that onto the wet paint, both on the front and the back of the feather, and that just gives it just an extra touch of shimmer, because who doesn't like glitter, right? You can't ever have enough glitter. And once you get the amount of glitter that you like on there, then just carefully place your feather down. Make sure it doesn't touch the paper or anything like that, because the paint is still very wet and it's still very thick on there. So right here I'm just kind of setting it on top of my paintbrush. And I'm going to show you a trick on what you can do so this will dry undisturbed. I just have this clip that I saved from when I bought a belt, and I just clip the feather in there, and now I can just hang it up out of the way and let that paint dry completely, because it is very thick paint. It might take a while, but it'll be out of the way and undisturbed. Okay, now my paint has dried, and so what I've done, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the card for the shaker card insert that I'm making right here. So I've just taken a piece of gold cardstock, and I'm just writing the verse on here. This is Psalms 91:4 from the NLT Bible, and it says, "He will cover you with his feathers. He will shelter you with his wings. His faithful promises are your armor and your protection." And that's why I call these God feathers, because it just reminds me of that verse, and this verse reminds me of how God's promises are our armor and our protection. Okay, so the next step is to start making the pocket. Now I'm using these Avery sheet protectors, which are readily available online or in your local stores. I'm using this fuse tool by Mambi, I think it is, Me and My Big Ideas. And you have to let this fuse tool heat up for a while, probably about 10 minutes. So what I've done is I've just slid the card stock and the feather right in to the page sleeve. And my fuse tool is all heated up. And so now I'm just using a piece of watercolor paper underneath to protect the desk, and I'm just slowly running this fuse tool up the page protector, and it perforates it and melts it and seals it all in one go. So I've just checked the seal right there and it looks good, and now I've got some big chunky gold glitter that I'm going to add in here to make it a nice pretty shaker card. And then I'm going to go ahead and move that glitter around, and everything's looking good. So I just grab my fuse tool again and I'm ready to seal this up. So I just make another pass along the bottom and it's all nice and sealed. And this glitter is big enough where it will not come out of the perforation holes that the fuse tool makes. So when you do this, don't use your microfine glitter like you use to cover the feather with. Use a bigger glitter, otherwise it will come out the holes and you'll get glitter all over the place. So that's looking great. I'm really happy with it. And so now I have this beautiful shaker insert that I'm just going to put in my prayer binder or my word binder or my prayer journal, whatever you want to call it. And I'm really happy with this, and I just love the image that it gives me, that we are under the shadow of God's wings. He is our protector, and our protection and His promises to us never fail. These gold dip feathers, just our God feathers as I call them, just have a real special meaning to me, and I hope they have a special meaning for you too. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.